welcome to Facts and Two Cents. How are you doing? Hope you are well. Yes. As you know, we are a channel that supports the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Harry, Meghan, Archie, Baby Lily, Mama Doria, Poola Guy, the chickens, Mama Mia, all of us here at Sussex Squad. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope you all are doing good. Hope you're rested and stuff is about to happen. So I hope everyone is doing really, really well. So I know we just came off Valentine's yesterday. So hope you've had a great Valentine's Day doing whatever it is you were doing, whether getting words of affirmation or getting chocolate or flowers or cuddles or all the wonderful things that you wanted for Valentine's. I hope you had, I hope, some of you I know time spent with family, sons, and grandkids, and all of the above. Hope you had a great, great time. So, yes. But I'm just going to say hi to our friends in the chat. And before we move on, hello, hello, hello. Let's see who is here. Annie Bennett is here. Hello, Annie. Oh, Annie has a message. She's like, hi, all. I'm going to church starting 7 p.m. South African time. So watch the she came by to say hello. She'll watch it on the replay. She is off to church. Hey, much more important. Replay is always here. So thank you, Annie, for stopping by. Marvel Walker is here. Oh, Marvel is a new member. Yay! Welcome to the Two Cents crew, Marvel. Thank you so much. Welcome, welcome, welcome. That's your Montecito shout out. But I am very happy you're here. Thank you so much for being a member. And our awesome moderator, Church Nelly, is here. Hello, Church Nelly, saying hello to everyone. And want to say hello to all of our wonderful squaddies out there in South Carolina. Hello, hello, hello. And she's also giving everybody the thumbs up. So, yes. Who else is here? And thank you, Church Nelly, for reminding everyone. If you haven't, especially if you're new here, and if you're new here and you have not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell so you know when we drop a video. Please like and share this video. Get it out to as many people and build the platform as quickly as possible. We are almost 6.1 thousand people who are members or at least subscribers to the channel, so that would be awesome. And please donate, if you can, more likely join our channel if you're able. Become a Two Cents crew member like Marvel and all the rest of our wonderful Two Cents crew members. That is awesome. But if you're able. So, and our awesome moderator Lydia is here. Hello, Lydia, how are you doing? And she's saying hello and welcome to Marvel as well. Thank you, Lydia. Lydia is also an addict, yes. As you can see, she's listening to part 3 of Spare again. Yes. We are very open and honest with our addictions in this place, so it's good. It's a good thing. We're not hiding it, so there you go. Welcome, C-Mac. Hello, C-Mac. Welcome. Annie Bullard is here. Hello, Annie. And our awesome moderator, Karen M, is here as well. And who else is here hanging out with us? Oh, Lucy Wynn is here. Hello, Lucy. And Lottie is here. And Jen Martin. And who else we see before we move on? Oh, Joyce is here. Joyce is here. Hello, Joyce. And Emma Day is here, and Evelyn is here. Oh my goodness, all of our peeps are here, and Janice, and all of our other peeps we'll say hello to as we go along. Terry and Kenitha, yes, I see you. And Elaine Parker hanging out with us from London. Yes, I see everyone. And Dolores and Ghislaine and Sonia. Welcome, guys. So again, from today, we're done with our wonderful Valentine's Day celebration. And then today, please pray for our faves. Our faves is going to have a challenging day today. So please pray for them. Today is supposed to be the, excuse me, the hearing for the dismissal of the case with Meghan's relative, I don't even want to say sister, relative, Samantha Markle. And so that is supposed to be today at 1:30, as you can see here from this notice. Filing 57 motion to dismiss first amended complaint and incorporated memoranda of law. Motion hearing is set for today, 2/15/2023 at 1:30 p.m. via Zoom conference before Judge Charlene Edward Honeywell. So whether Meghan is going to be a part, I mean, I'm sure she'll be listening in. I don't know if she'll be, if she'll be visible. But today, her attorney are going to be, there's the hearing today before the judge about dismissing the case. And so please pray for them. I can't imagine just the frustration of having to deal with this mess, deal with this nonsense from Samantha, because it's so unjust, it's so unfair, since that, as we know, Samantha has been the one that's been libeling Meghan all over the place. And, so I hope the judge does the right thing and just dismiss this case. But again, as I've said it from the first day we talked about this, Florida. Florida, I don't, and I know we have squatties in Florida, and I am sorry that you are living in this ridiculous place. I mean, I'm sorry that you have to put up with this nonsense. But anything coming out of Florida, I don't care, black, white, legal or not, I trust nothing and no one. And things that are coming out of Florida, because it's just, that place, it's a mess. And so I hope, I'm hoping, and I don't want to say like a judge wouldn't do the right thing, but again, Florida. So that's all you need to know with this. And I've said it from day one. I mean, this should never even have gotten this far, to be honest. And so the fact that it's gotten this far, again, so here's hoping and praying that the judge does the right thing. And, hope for me. I don't know I don't know what's going to be presented specifically, but I hope some of it would be, what Samantha has been doing to Meghan, and all the things she's been saying about Meghan across so many platforms since 2016. And, he's been doing it even up to this year, a couple of weeks ago, a month ago, whatever it was. She's been doing it all the time. And so the fact that Meghan has to put up with this nonsense is ridiculous. And, so hopefully it's dismissed and it doesn't go forward. If it goes forward, if the judge, put aside her, whatever, and allow this to go forward. I mean, I can't imagine Meghan, wanting to put herself through. I mean, for what? No matter what's said in court, they will twist it, and they, we know that the press will they just want anything to destroy Meghan's character and her name, and that's what they want to do, and bully and abuse her on the witness stand. That's their goal, and so I don't, it's unfortunate, but I don't. I wouldn't allow myself to be put through there. I mean, I don't know if it's something you could just be like, I'm not participating in this, and default of it. I don't know. I don't know legal. I don't know legal, how to do stuff like that legal, but I wouldn't allow it. I wouldn't sit through that at all. So again, I hope the judge does the right thing and dismisses this case, because it's ridiculous. So we will see. So please pray. That this goes well, and then after today, or I don't know when it's today, if they if she announces a judgment today, or if she takes a little while. I don't know the process of that, so we'll see if it's something that we hear about today, or if it's something that she'll make a judgment on it, in the future, as they do in the UK. They tend to take a long time deliberating, and then we hear about it sometime in the future. So we'll see. So pray. Also, on better news, maybe actually I should have started with this better news instead of that. I should have done reverse. Where we start with the positive, but we get that negative stuff out of the way, and we can go on to a little bit more positive stuff. But I love this. This is really cool. The Women's Law Center is it's called the National Women's Law Center, and it's they have 5 different women, and they're from all walks of life. As actually, I'm going to move myself out of the way. There you go, so you can see it a little bit better. And 5 women at the bottom, and you can see at the bottom there: Jessica Bakersville, Lark Lewis, Brittany Young, Sabrina Bernadelle, and Fatumata Kita wrote letters to Black women, or love letters to Black women, and it's so great. And if you notice there, right in the middle there, or sort of to the right, one over from Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson, is our own Meghan. And so this letter is to Black women. So there are 5 different letters in this blog that the National Women's Law Center posted. And the bottom it says it's Valentine's Day and Black History Month, so we're pouring out our love to the amazing Black women, past, present, and future, who deserve to be seen, respected, celebrated, and understood. And so these letters are amazing, and they're really wonderful. So a piece of one of the letters from Jessica Bakersville says, "Black women, you are loved," and a piece of her letter says, "Oh, that's really weird. That's how this came." Hold on one second, because I'm just noticing how here we go. I'm just noticing that how StreamYard did, it sort of covered the top of it sort of covered over part of what I wanted to read. So I'm just going to read it off of my pad. It says, "I know that it can be hard to love wholeheartedly. Being us, especially with a smile, is no mean feat. No matter what privilege you possess, it can sometimes feel all of the odds are stacked against you. No matter how much progress you made, and no matter how bright the light at the end of the tunnel is, it is tiring always to be fighting to be fighting to be seen, fighting to be respected, fighting to not be discriminated against, especially when there are times when no one is pouring into us. But the love you give doesn't go unnoticed. Please know that even if you think it is, it will come back to you. Please try and pour at least a quarter of that love that you pour into the world into yourself. You are loved and worthy of love." And Brittany Young wrote the 5th letter in this, and it's not on here, obviously, but it's so hopeful. She's obviously one of the ladies that wrote. She says, "When I look in the mirror, I see our future. I see our daughters and their daughters. I see the next generation of Black girl magic. It's why we must own our light, our giftedness, and let it illuminate the path forward. It is why we must see and celebrate the perfection and our imperfections, so that so they know being their authentic self is more than enough. No need for code switching or masks. I see the motivation to keep healing, so our scars aren't passed on to them. And when they look in the mirror, they can see themselves, us, and our ancestors joyful and free. When I look in the mirror, I see us, all of us, being and becoming, which makes me proud of all we are as Black women." And so I just really, really appreciated this. I loved it. And I was like, oh, that's so great, to see these letters. And the link is already in the show notes. So when you have a moment, you can go through and read all the letters from these ladies, again, that they wrote to Black women. And so it's like, yeah, and we need it. We need it so much, because, the tendency is to always try to think like, oh, Black women are competitive. We're just competing against each other and all of those things. And it's like, no. We are also here. And again, there's no people compete all the time in all races, but it's always like a negative with Black women, especially, and how it's, reported and stuff. It's always this negative connotation to it. So I'm just really happy to see, Black women just really celebrating, that we're celebrating ourselves, celebrating each other, and encouraging each other. So I just, so happy to see Meghan a part of this group of women. And it's like, yeah, so kudos to the National Women's Law Center. And again, the link is in the show notes. Please read all the women's all what the women have been saying, to encourage. And it's really great that they did it on Valentine's Day as well. So there you go. I absolutely, absolutely love it. So yes, moving on. Spare. Spare is also doing amazing things. And one of the things that I love about Spare is, in spite of, and I think mostly just the British press have been harping on, whatever tidbits that they are, which they claim, oh, they hate the royal family, which is no. Most of it with the royals, it has to do with the press. But the press, of course, they don't want their people who they've groomed to really focus on. That's what, a lot of what Spare is talking about is their contract with the royal family that's destroying lives. But I'm grateful that the majority of intelligent people, the majority of people around the world, are really clued in and really zoned in on the real, the thread, apart from the press and the royal family, the overarching thread of Spare, and that is, overcoming grief. And so many articles have been written about it. So many articles have been, so many different, whether it's doctors and educators and therapists and all of those people have been writing all of these articles and blogs and stuff about, the mental health aspect of it, overcoming grief and all of these things. And it's just been really wonderful to see. And so I saw this article, actually, I think it was there a couple of days ago, and I forgot. I want to talk about it, but I forgot, and then I ran into it again. It's like, oh yeah, this article. And it's from a magazine called Visible. I had never heard of the magazine before. So I didn't know it was there. And so Dr. Sarah McCarthy, she's the one that wrote this article, and talks about Prince Harry's book Spare is a reminder to support child grief. And it's she's talking about just the way how children grieve and the kind of support and help they need in order to help them, because it's already a situation where they're in a situation where it's feeling like I have no control over this and I'm just hurting. And so it's very important that that there are specific things that children need, that if it's not in place, we have what happened to Harry. And so this article is really, really important. Part of the article, so really a little part, she said, 26 years after his mother's death, Prince Harry still vividly recalls the word used to tell him about his mother's accident. Mommy has been in a car crash, complications, badly injured. I'm afraid she didn't make it. Overall, that was a good explanation for what happened. It was short and simple. It gave details appropriate for a 12-year-old child. Yet, one extremely important word was left out: dead. At no point during the conversation was Prince Harry explicitly told that his mother had died. Terms such as passed away or no longer with us or didn't make it are an attempt to protect the child or the person telling the child. But this vague terminology can be harmful and easily misconstrued, especially by a child. Hence, we have Harry, for so much of his life, referred to his mom as missing, or when she went away. He couldn't come because there's nobody ever really in his dad or whatever really used that word. And so it gave him, his mind and his imagination, permission to grab onto, well, mommy just went away, she'll come back. And so we have this prolonged grief. And she goes on to, I mean, this is part of her longer thought. But and another thing she goes on to say, a common mistake after death of a loved one is to share implicit or explicit information with a child about how to grieve. About how to grieve. Additionally, it is a mistake to give a child no choices regarding their role in the rituals surrounding the family member's death. And we saw that so much in Harry because, they basically told him he had to go walk behind the coffin. He had no real, he had no say in anything. It was all, the palace did all the planning and all of those things. Nobody asked Harry, well, okay, what would you like to do? He all just had to go along. And then obviously she talked about the palace mantra of, you can't cry. That was one of the things he couldn't do. He couldn't cry. It was not allowed. And then told that, oh, you have to go outside and with that stiff upper lip and shake people's hands and all of those things. And so she referenced all of these things in the article. Those are things you don't want to do. And that's some of the reasons really why we have what happened to Prince Harry, and so the whole article and was also, basically, and she talked about, as a therapist, counseling people of how to help kids through this grieving period. And she talked about, when it happened to her and she had to do that with her kids, it really solidified it and made it so like jarring. And she really understood how painful that moment is. And again, if you're not equipped with these tools, I can't personally come down on a parent if they don't know, you know what I mean? It's there's so much that goes on, and I would assume go on in a person's mind when you have to think, oh my gosh, I have to tell this horrible news to my child. And it's like, they will mess up. They wouldn't do it perfectly. And so it's not like a knock on, Charles and the way but when you do what he did, even though I'm sure he meant, he meant it in the best way possible. I mean, how do you tell your child, what he ended up doing had affected Harry throughout his life. And so, and how the palace handled it and the things that they did affected him most of his life. And so this is a great article for people to see, to really learn from the mistakes of how the palace handled that and what they did to Harry, so that people going forward could, if that, life happens. Going forward, like, if that would have happened, what's the best way to help a child to be able to go through this process and come out of it with some semblance of a healthy mental health. So it's really, really good article. The link is already in the show notes. Definitely take a read if you have a moment. So yeah, but it is so great to see that people aren't stuck on their royal nonsense, but they're really getting and being able to write these articles to help parents in those times. Because again, I can't come down on a parent if they completely blow this, because how do you, you know what I mean? I can't. But when people are, now it's like people are being equipped. You're at least a little bit more prepared when stuff like this happens. So I really appreciated this article. So thank you for putting that there. And again, it's one of the ways that Spare is helping so many people, because I'm sure children are going to be helped by this. So anyway, moving on. Talk about Prince Harry. Oh my goodness, this podcast, and it's so funny, I was listening to it just before I came in. I'm like halfway through, and the link is in the show notes. And I encourage everyone to, if you want to know like Prince Harry's battle with the press, this goes into real details about Prince, because as we know, Prince Harry has a lot of court cases against the Sun, the Mirror, and the Daily Mail. And this goes into detail about what the allegations are, what the charges are, what, their interviews with some of the private investigators who bugged phones, who, I mean, even some reporters who were part of those where they were bugging phones. I mean, there was even a part where, it's like 130 payments made to people, to private investigators and stuff. I mean, Paul Corona Galizia, I don't know if that's how he says his name, but he is the lead reporter on this. So it's Tortoise Media. Definitely, if you want to know about Harry's court case, and they're going to detail about it, it is so fascinating. So when I'm done with this, I'm going to listen to the rest of it as I walk over to go play some tennis. I'm going to go listen to the rest of it. But it's just like, it's shocking. It's, oh my gosh, and part of it, they talk about Harry talking about it is his life's work. And I think Harry's most likely going to dedicate the rest of his life to changing the British media, because unbelievable. But Paul went ahead and tweeted out some of the things that are from the podcast. It says, some of it, says, itemized call data suggests phone hacking was more widespread than we knew. For example, there were 315 alleged attempts at accessing Prince Harry's private secretary's voicemail between 2004 and 2006. He also said the Sun wasn't implicated in the phone hacking, but Prince Harry now claims it published 18 articles about him based on intercepted voicemails, all during Rebecca Brooks' editorship. A news group spokesman says that it's a matter for a future trial. Whatever. Another tweet, he says, payment records from the tabloids to private investigators indicate more intensive surveillance of Prince Harry and his associates. For example, some 130 payments to various private investigators for information on just one person, ex-girlfriend Chelsea Davy. He finally says, when I asked Piers Morgan, who once edited the News of the World and the Daily Mirror, he responded to the claim about him. He said, I wish Prince Harry all the best in protecting the invasion of privacy from himself, which is, obviously, we know it's a deflection. And so it is, and there's so much more. There is so much more to this. And so I, definitely, and again, the link is already in the show notes. So definitely listen to this podcast. And it is just, it's sickening. It is really, really sickening to see the lengths to which the British press go to and it's so weird with them. It's like they're not even smart enough to hide to hide what what the information they get from the hacking or the blogging or whatever. A lot of times they write verbatim what they heard on the voicemail. And so there's no way other than they've listened to somebody's voicemail will they get verbatim what somebody said on the voicemail. And it is unbelievable to me. I was just like, are these people, like, is there anybody with common sense among these people at all? And apparently not. So it's unreal. But anyway, definitely listen to it. And finally, on Prince Harry, I'm telling you, karma is no joke. Rob Rinder, furious rant at Harry and Meghan for accepting Human Rights Award for taking lots of money to gripe about your family when there are people who spent their lives campaigning for freedom. Same Rob Rinder reveals he was rushed to the hospital with prolapsed disc just hours after co-hosting GMB and muses life can change in a moment. Really, Rob? Yeah, karma tend to visit just when we, least expect. And you see this pattern all the time with people who have gone after Harry and Meghan all of a sudden, out of the blue. There is Rob Rinder. And, I wish no harm or ill on anybody, who suffered and gone to the hospital. But again, be careful, because it's you see this pattern so much that it's not just an accident, or it's just like, oh, it's just coincidence this is happening. No, all of these people who have been going for no reason, attacking two people who have done nothing to them, stuff like this keep happening. So, but still, they're just, there again, no common sense among them. They just keep going. So anyway, I'm going to jump in the chat, see what you guys are saying before we move on. Let's see. I'm going to scroll all the way up and then come back down. Let's see. Okay. Nini says M will settle. It's not unfortunate, but it's in her best interest. Yeah, I mean, if they try to go forward with this, there is no reason for her to, allow, because it doesn't matter what they say. They're not looking for the truth. They're just looking for anything she say. They will, they will try to twist it to damage her. There is no benefit to, if the judge decides that this case goes, there's no benefit for her going forward. There's a lot for Samantha Markle. They can reveal, all of her privacy, even if she ends up winning the case, so much of her private life would be out there that Samantha Markle could write a book and make millions off of it. The Daily Mail and the British press, who have a vested interest in this, will make millions off of it. So there is really no reason for, other than, there is no other thing that would benefit Meghan. Unfortunately, settling would mean she'll have to pay Samantha Markle, which is in and of itself is so egregious that, that would even be, I'm telling you. I don't know why Meghan didn't sue this girl long ago and then change her name and cut the Markle's name out of her life. Like, I really don't know. But, I hope she does eventually. So I just, it's really, really sick. Let's see. Dolores says, this stuff will never stop. The royal family has no plans to stop. Yeah, no. They have no, they will always, the British press will always be a part of it because it's in their interest. I mean, the reason why they have, especially the tabloids, is, again, the tabloids will lie for them. The tabloids will twist things. The tabloids will brainwash. They already have half the nation brainwashed. So, to believe any nonsense they post in there. So it's in the royal family's interest to, keep the tabloids on. And so they're not going to change anything. So yeah, unbelievable. Let's see. Lydia says, family, please do not bring negative words or hate channel words here. This is a pro-Sussex channel, so only comments that are uplifting, supportive, should be shared here, please. Thank you, Lydia. I mean, we're definitely a pro Sussex. So look, people could, you can disagree with anything I say. That's fine. Definitely disagree. But if it's any kind of hate against Harry and Meghan, that's a no. We're not tolerating any hate. This is a pro Sussex channel. Again, free to disagree. You don't have to agree with anything I say. Please feel free to disagree and, voice your opinion, but no Sussex hate will be tolerated here. So yeah. So if you can disagree in a non-hateful, then that's fine. And no cuss words. There you go. J-Matt says, a little break from work. Oh, Petal, you don't know how much I needed to see this about Black women. Oh, we'll go back and work with a smile. We'll go back to work with a smile. Oh, I hope you read the article, J-Matt. Definitely. The link is already in the show notes, so definitely click on it and read it. You'd be so inspired. The letters are really wonderful and supportive for Black women. So I'm glad that you got some inspiration from it. So that's awesome. And I, definitely encourage everybody to read the letters. So yes, we need that, especially as Black women. We need that encouragement all the time from each other. Because frankly, if we're not encouraging each other, there's nobody else to encourage us. It's just us. So yeah. Let's see. Oh, Joseph Bruno says, "Hello, my dear squaddies. My third grandchild, a girl, was born. Oh my gosh, was born yesterday on Valentine's. Oh, what a beautiful thing! What a beautiful Valentine's present you have, Joseph. That's awesome! Congratulations to your son or daughter, or however the relation is there. But oh, congratulations to your family. That is so wonderful. Oh, Valentine's Day baby. So then next year we'll be celebrating and singing her happy birthday. So that's awesome." And Sean, yes, I know I didn't pull you up, Sean, yesterday, but we got to give you, Sean is letting us know, yep, Andrew is you're a sick old man, disgusting. And yes, all of that. Absolutely. But again, my thing is always been with the royal family and Prince Andrew is if you're okay with Charles, then Andrew should not be a problem for you because they're one in the same. So there you go. Let's see. Let's see. Scrolling down. Dolores Sims says, "Lydia, I don't mean to be negative, but I'm 69 and has followed Diana and Harry's whole life, and these people will stop at nothing." So I'm not really sure what the first part of the comment was. I'm not sure if that's what Lydia was referring to. But okay, thank you. I don't know the context, so sorry, Dolores. I didn't see the first part of this. So let's see. Let's see. Trishna says, "Sean, I'm thrilled he will never be free to hurt anyone else ever again." Okay, I'm not sure who you're talking to. If we are talking about Prince Andrew, but he is not in jail, so okay. So not sure who. I don't see what the beginning of this is, so maybe I'll run into it at some point. Connie Bomber says, "Pedal, I'm sorry I'm late. Took my hubby to the dentist." Oh, well, I'm happy your hubby got to the dentist, have some clean teeth and everything. But no worries. We just started, so you're not late at all. You're right on time, Connie. And whatever else you missed, you'll pick it up. The replay is there. So happy you're here. Let's see. Scrolling down. Lydia says, "Whoa, Sean, glad she did what was right and also called out racism. Thanks for sharing this info. Great news." Okay, so there's a whole lot of posts about Sean said something that I am not privy to at this moment. I can't find it. So I'm not sure what it is, but whatever it is, people are happy that someone is not free anymore. So I'm not sure who that someone is, but thank you, Sean, for sharing it with the squad until I find out what it is. So thank you. Lydia says, "I hope Piers Morgan is further exposed and called out." I hope so too. I mean, so far he has gotten away with all of those hacking and blagging accusations. He's gotten away with it and basically has failed up, and so he definitely needs to be exposed and go to jail or whatever it is that needs to happen. But so far he has not been held responsible for what he's done. Yes, he was fired from the Sun and the Mirror for what he did, but again, he has failed up. Right now he's sitting on what they said it's like a $50 million deal from Rupert Murdoch at Talk TV with his very low rated show. So he has not had to worry for anything, even though he was fired. He just gets a better job and, and more attention, which is what he wants. So he is not really suffered because of for what he did. So hopefully, fingers crossed. And what the Daily Mail is trying to do is they're trying to, with all the evidence and stuff, I think they are trying to get the judge to keep it a secret, like, to not. And it's so funny. These are the same people that are screaming about freedom of press and all of that stuff, but they want to hide all of this stuff from the public so the public don't know that they were actually doing this stuff. So we'll see what the judge says. So, and apparently all the cases that Harry's involved in are going to be, at some point during the year, they're all going to be heard this year. So it'll be very interesting. There are going to be a lot of court proceedings, including Harry and especially Harry. I wouldn't be surprised if Harry's taking legal courses, to become like a lawyer or something. I mean, he's spending enough time with this, he might as well at this point, a mental health advocate and a lawyer or something. I wouldn't be surprised, why not? Let's see. Dolores says, this is why Rupert Murdoch has no plans on letting up of Harry and Meghan. Yeah, because they know they are going to attack and attack and attack and try to destroy them, because they know that Harry and Meghan have a lot of dirt on them. And a lot of the people that are testifying for in Harry's court cases are those very investigators that the tabloids hired. So a lot people that are testifying now against the tabloids and testifying for Harry and Meghan, not even say Meghan, but really Harry and the people that are really filed the case against the tabloids. So yeah, so it'll be very interesting. Let's see. Before we move on, a couple more before we move on. Annie Bella said, there have no shame among this type of reporting. There are none at all. None at all. And, you would think like when when stuff like this happen, their so-called legit press would be calling out the tabloids, but nothing. Instead, they side with them, and it's just like they side with them against the victim in a lot of cases. I mean, look at what they did to Meghan, and are still doing to her. So it's unbelievable. Let's see. Well, anyway, so let's move on, and we'll come back to the chat in a second. What else is happening? Oh, yeah. So this. So a couple of days ago, we, Buckingham Palace, after lying about Camilla having the seasonal flu, they finally admitted, oh, she has COVID, apparently. Well, my question, was the question that I had last year when this happened, when supposedly Charles had COVID, and the next day we saw Camilla out with people at an event, shaking hands up in people's faces, up in children's faces, only for the next day for her to, come down with COVID. Same thing is happening here. A couple of days ago, Camilla supposedly now has COVID. Yesterday, what was Prince Charles doing? On the right, greeting people, shaking hands in people's face without a mask. And it's just like, your wife is supposedly home with COVID, and you are, out here in people's faces, shaking. Do you two not live together? Which was the same question I asked last year. How, do you just have no concern? I mean, and also people, I mean, do these people not know that Camilla was just diagnosed with COVID? Like there is her husband in their face with no mask, And the royal family, following a series of devastated earthquakes, the king met members of the Syrian and Turkish diaspora communities in London to show support to those affected by the difficult time. That's fine. But look at Prince, let's say King Charles, in people's faces, touching them, all of that stuff, and your wife is home with COVID. he either don't care, or he, like he doesn't care, or this is all just a lie and something else is going on, and they use COVID again. Remember that Prince Andrew had COVID nonsense? Or they just use COVID to gain some sympathy and to not have to deal with any kind of fallout that may have come from this. I'm not saying she doesn't, but it's just very suspect to me. That they announced that she has COVID, and the same day they dropped this, that Camilla will not be, they're not going to be using the Kohinoor diamond on her crown. I still can't believe this woman is going to be wearing a crown. It's like, oh my goodness. But instead, as it said in the Sky News reported that instead of that, that Queen's diamond with the Kohinoor crown, with the diamond, she will wear Queen Mary's crown to the coronation. And so she's not wearing the Kohinoor diamond. That's from, that India has claimed, and they're like, you need to send this, you need to give us back this, you stole it and you need to give it back. So they didn't want the drama that would come from that. They didn't want to be called out in the whole controversy of her wearing it. So what did they do instead? At the bottom, she will pay tribute to the late queen by replacing the Kohinoor diamond gem with the Cullinan 3, 4, and 5 diamonds, which were often worn as brooches by the previous monarch. So she is not using the one from India, the gem from India, because she doesn't want any, controversy because of, colonialism and all of that. But they feel perfectly fine to wear the Cullinan diamond that they stole from South Africa. And my question is, this was announced yesterday. Where's the outrage from South Africans? I have to tweet this. I'm like, where are South African people? Why aren't you not complaining about this? They feel perfectly fine to be, again, there's a cost of living crisis going on. There is a cost of living crisis going on. And we're talking about crowns for Camilla. And then and this is how it's like, they are perfectly fine to be using diamonds stolen from Africa, which they claim like, oh no, it was given as a gift. Yeah, right. From a colonized country. And so this was, talk about the Cullinan diamond and being stolen. This article was in the CNN when, right when the Queen died. It says the royal gift of stolen gems calls for UK to return 500-carat Great Star of African diamond. Calls are growing in South Africa for Britain's royal family to return the world's largest known clear diamond in the wake of the Queen's death, known as the Great Star of Africa, the Cullinan one. So that one on the crown, and then she has those other pieces, the 3, 4, and 5. She used them as brooches that she wore around most of her life. So known as the Great Star, the Cullinan one is the diamond is cut from a larger gem that was mined in South Africa in 1905 and handed over to the British royal family by South African colonial authorities. It is currently mounted on the scepter belonging to the Queen. Demands for the return of the Great Star of Africa and other diamonds along with calls for reparations have intensified since the Queen's death. South Africans view Britain's acquisition of the jewels as illegitimate. These are the jewels that they're putting on Camilla's crown, the ones that the Queen's used as brooches. And my thing is, if you have an issue with wearing something that was stolen from India, why do you not have an issue wearing something that was stolen from South Africa? And where are South Africans? Why aren't they screaming and, hollering and be outraged about this? And apparently, this article talks about, different politicians in South Africa demanding and calling on President Ramaphosa to do something. Demand this, this gem back and to be in South Africa where it belongs. And I don't think he's going to do it. As a matter of fact, I would expect to see Philip Ramaphosa, or Cyril, I'm sorry, not Philip, Cyril Ramaphosa, in the UK when King Charles is crowned. I expect to see him there. I would be surprised if he's not there. He's not going to do anything. Because we remember last year we talked about this, a few months ago with him and, when he came for the Queen's funeral, they were parked him in a bus. And then all of a sudden, like a month later, he came back to the UK with, it was like they decked out the UK. It was the greatest thing since sliced bread. And seeing him in that photo grinning with Prince Charles, he's not going to do a thing. Why aren't other South Africans beside him? Why aren't they screaming out like, what? So it just, I'm like, okay, we'll see. Moving on and talk about Camilla Parker Bowles. This is, if we were just talking about, they are not going to change. The royal family is not going to change. This is Camilla's son, Tom Parker Bowles, food critic. And guess where he's a food critic from? Where he writes his, his criticisms of food, I guess. Tom Parker Bowles is one of Britain's top food critics and authors and writes a weekly column. Where does he write it? For the Mail on Sunday. That's right. So if we ever think that the royal family and the Daily Mail are ever going to part ways, well, there's Camilla Parker Bowles' son, writing for the Mail on Sunday, the very paper that really published Meghan's letter to her father. There's Camilla Parker Bowles writing for that very paper. This is the same Parker Bowles was a druggie. And apparently they said he was selling drugs. This is the same Parker Bowles. You would think that the tabloids, this would be fair game for the tabloids. His past should be, you would think would be fair game for the tabloids. Yet he is one of their authors. They have left him alone. Nobody talks about Tom Parker Bowles and his, and his, who knows? Maybe he's clean now. I don't know, but, amazing. So yeah, no, that's not going to change ever. And enough about the the royal stuff. This actually was pretty. It was very, very. Again, the second time in 2 months, we've had two powerful women prime ministers resigning out of the blue. Shocking! It's just like, what? Everybody is shocked. And if you haven't heard today, Nicola Sturgeon, reported and she, I guess, let everybody know that she is resigning as a first minister in Scotland, or you would say a prime minister in Scotland. And it's very, very interesting to me that, just a month ago, we had Jacinda Ardern, New Zealand prime minister, resigning. Just it seems out of the blue, out of nowhere, and all of a sudden Nicola Sturgeon, which is like even like what, in New Zealand, I know like they said like a election was coming up, and it would have been a tough ride for Jacinda, but Nicola Sturgeon was like everybody is shocked, and she did a news conference, I guess, today and announced that she is stepping down. She is resigning. And this is what she says. Nicola Sturgeon says, time is right to resign as Scotland's first minister. Nicola Sturgeon has confirmed that she is resigning as Scotland's first minister after more than 8 years on the role. The Scottish National Party said that she knew in her head and she knew in my head and in my heart that this was the right time to step down. She added, since the very first moment in the job, I have believed that serving is the part of serving well would be to know almost instinctively when the time is right to make the way for someone else. In my head and my heart, I know that time is now. This is right for me, for my party, and for my country. And it's just very wild because Jacinda Ardern says almost the same thing. When she resigned, she says, this is just an NPR reporting of it. New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern announced that she would step down as the country's leader by February, shocked many of her constituents and leaders around the world. She says, I am leaving because because with a very privileged role come responsibility, the 42-year-old Ardern said in her announcement on Thursday local time. The responsibility to know when you are right person to lead and also when you're not. And I know that I know what this job takes, and I know that I no longer have enough in the time to do it justice. It's just that simple. And she also talked about, knowing in her heart when the right time is to go. And it's just really weird. Two powerful women, Commonwealth countries, two powerful women who the world really needs, despite, whatever disagreements you may have of them, that all of a sudden within a month, they both left. They're both resigned. And it's just like, huh? What is going on? And I'm not here for conspiracy theories, or at least sometimes, most times, but it's just, I'm like, something isn't smelling right here for me. Something is up. And I mean, I don't know what it is. And it could just be, okay, it's just, whatever it is. It's time. They just need to move on with their lives and do other things. That could be it too. But it's just really wild. Two powerful women in these incredible roles, within a month, resigning out of the blue, saying almost the same thing. And it's just like, something isn't, one and one isn't equaling two somehow. So again, I don't know. Maybe we'll know more in the future why exactly, this happened, but it's just really weird in less than a month, to have almost the same, he says like same script. Yeah, it's almost the same script. And it's just like, what is going on? And what are they not telling us? So it just, yeah. And he says it sounds more like corruption coming down the line and they don't want to be part of it. Would I be shocked? No. Would I be shocked? No. And it's funny that both of them had, their relationship with the royal family. They're all, it just, I'm like, something isn't sitting right in this at all. So again, it could be nothing, and maybe I'm just reading too much into this, but it's just weird. It is really, really just weird. But anyways, that's what's happening with these two Commonwealth countries. And another one, Jamaica. It's like Jamaica government is moving forward in transitioning Jamaica to a republic. I'm like, it's about time. Just move it along, please. Just keep moving along. We're just waiting for you to do it, And the Caribbean News Network says Jamaica Governor General Sir Patrick Allen said that the constitutional reform work to facilitate the transition will be assisted by the high-level Constitutional Reform Committee that will play an advisory and oversight role. So whatever that means, just do it. That's all I'm saying. Just do it and do it quickly. Thank you. And talking about New Zealand, going back to New Zealand, I saw this, New Zealand Republic posted this, and I didn't get a chance to go back on the Governor General of New Zealand's their Instagram feed. But the Republic of New Zealand posted this, that they spotted apparently Princess Anne is supposedly in New Zealand or going to New Zealand, because people were laughing or making fun of the fact that there's like a cyclone going on, and so that's hindering her trip or something in New Zealand. But the New Zealand Republic reported this. I spotted on Twitter a Freudian slip. There's absolutely no justification for Princess Anne to hold a role in New Zealand armed forces. We are not a colony. And New Zealand citizens should fill that role. Here. And that role, well, the Governor General of New Zealand posted this apparently on Instagram. And again, I didn't get a chance to go back and look at it. So, but this is what apparently is there. Dame Cindy and Dr. Davies were delighted to welcome Her Royal Highness, the Princess Royal and Vice Admiral Sir Tim Lawrence, who is her husband, to Government House, Wellington yesterday afternoon. HRH and Sir Tim are in New Zealand to mark the centenary for the Royal New Zealand Corps of Signals, of which Princess Anne is Colonial in Chief. This this marks the first visit to New Zealand since the passing of Queen Elizabeth II last year. So they meant to write Colonel in Chief, and so instead they write Colonial in Chief, which is like, maybe he was really thinking, he wrote what he was thinking and wasn't paying attention. But it's, to the New Republic's point, there is no reason that anybody, especially someone who has never been in the armed forces, to be holding military roles in other countries unless they are a colonized country, unless it's a colony. And again, yes, so, colonies supposedly don't exist, but the fact that the royal family, King Charles is the head of 15, hello. Hello. So it just, yeah. Anyways, but it's very interesting that, that colonial in chief. Yeah, exactly. Let's see. What else do I have? Okay, we'll just jump in the chat for a bit and then we can move on for a bit. Let's see. And Louis says, two influential women, how about misogyny or both, were for the abolishment of the monarchy? Scotland wants to break away from England, Australia, and New Zealand and Canada. I'm sure there's a lot of misogyny there. They've had to deal with sexism, misogyny. It's just been brutal. Absolutely brutal against those women. And I don't blame them if all it is that, you know what, I have devoted how many years to this country, I need my life back. There's so much abuse one can take, or why should they have to take abuse just trying to lead their country, especially from the despicable British press. And so I don't blame them for what, if that's all it is. But it's just really weird that it's within a month, both of them, both women who are, powerful, no matter, I'm sure there are a lot of things that they've done that many people may not agree with, whatever, but on a whole, they were really powerful leaders for their country. And to see them both step down within a month saying that pretty much the same thing, it's just like, it's just weird. It is just really, really weird. And so I wouldn't be surprised if there's more to all of this. So, watch this space, as they say, as Rachel Maddows always says, watch this space. Let's see. Dolores says, just like the United States, the government is filled with corruption. It's all about power and money. Yep. That is very, very true. Very, very, very true. Yep. Sonia says, she's talking to Lydia, I'm getting ready to pull out the swimsuits. It's now 69. Oh my goodness. Swimsuits. Oh, hey, if you could do it. That's awesome, Sonia. Enjoy either sunbathing or going for a cold swim. Let's see. Tanya says the only thing Meghan can do to get out of this mess is to settle out of court, and I doubt she would do that. I don't know what she would do, and I'm just gonna wait to see what she does. I know what I wouldn't put myself through it. Because again, when people aren't really looking for the truth, it's just basically there to destroy your character and destroy anything that you've built or anything like that. And so I think every person has to weigh it for themselves to see, okay, am I willing to give up all of this stuff about my private life, including emails and all of that stuff that Samantha Markle and her people are demanding, emails from Oprah and all of this stuff that literally bears no bearing on the case. All they want is more of Meghan's private life to be exposed so they can write articles about it and, fill up books and all of those things. And so I think it has to be that balance. You have to decide what of your life you don't mind people knowing all about, and, and if it's worth it to you. And so, or look, if it is, then, you go after her. You go and win your case and then sue Samantha for like $150 million or something. I don't know. So we'll see. We'll see what what decisions they will make. It's just really aggravating to see someone, go out of their way to libel someone, and then turn around and sue that person claiming I mean, it just it's like, karma, do your thing. It's just like unbelievable. And then again, it go to the court process, and then they have this thing being drawn out and drawn out. It's like, it is so it's right there in front of you, so it's just really, really, so we'll see what the judge says, and we'll whatever Meghan decides she wants to do after that, we'll see. Terry says, very suspicious about Nicola Sturgeon resignation. Somebody got to her. Most likely, because everybody is shocked. Politicians, every single person's like, what? Some people don't like her and they're like celebrating, but still they're shocked. That she, it sort of came out, and people are saying, from her statement, it looks like something that she's been thinking about for a while, which I'm sure, but there was no indication that was going to happen. And so, yeah, who knows? Would I put it past, royals or, the press or somebody have some kind of dirt on her or something? I wouldn't put it past any of that stuff. So, yeah. Let's see. Lana says, she's talking to Karen. Yes, Hurricane Hazel will be missed. Does she hold the title of the world's longest serving mayor? I remember Regis Philbin talking about it when he was alive. Okay, I don't know any of these people. I mean, I know of Regis Philbin, but I don't know who Hazel is. So let's just leave that with Karen and Lorna. Annie says, it sounds like more corruption coming down the line, and they do not want to be part. Oh, wait a minute. I think I read that already. Yes, absolutely. I wouldn't be surprised. Dolores says the royal family believe they are ordained by God. Yeah, they sure do. They sure do. And a lot of their royalist friends believe the same. And I don't know why, but they do. So, yeah. Sean says they are being forced out and replaced by certain powers that the evil men are coming. I'm telling you, that was what I was thinking. There is something in the water. There's something in the pipeline that they're not telling us. One of the things, Americans, one of the things that I'm noticing even here in the US is that people are doing exactly what they did when Donald Trump, the first time he talked about running for president. Everybody was laughing and everybody was like, oh, oh, really? You'll never be president, whatever. The same thing with Ron DeSantis, whatever. People were making light of it, making joke of it. They never took it seriously. And then we had Orange One for 4 years of misery and terror. This is the same thing that is happening right now. We're doing exactly the same thing. So would I be shocked to see that kind of, really evil people in New Zealand or in Scotland? No. And it's the same thing happening in the US, the same blasé attitude and the press whipping up, and stirring people up and giving all the press to these men. And next thing you know, we end up with terrors, in the White House. Would I be shocked that Ron DeSantis from Florida no, I wouldn't, because we're doing the same thing. And so would I be shocked if Americans, if he's, do I believe he's going to go to prison? No, I don't believe they're going to send Donald Trump to prison. One of the things I know for sure in this country, old white men protect old white men. I don't care which side of the aisle you're on. If they weren't protecting him, Donald Trump should have been in jail long ago. And he's not. They will protect their own. Would I be shocked to see Donald Trump back in the White House? No, that would be the least surprising thing, because again, Americans are doing exactly the same thing that they did. And they're not taking it seriously. And so it just, it's going to be a nightmare. Next election, buckle up. Let's see. Terry said it's a family affair with the Parker Bowles, royal family, and the tabloids. It is. And they have, especially with Harry and Meghan, they have definitely shown who they will embrace and who they will not. And they definitely embrace the tabloids, and Harry and Meghan are expendable. That is very, very clear. That is a very, very, very clear. Dolores says the royal family has no plans of speaking out about slavery or race. No, they're not. They're not. For all of those people who are like, we need reparations, we need, we need apology, whatever. And it's just like, then they don't respect you. They don't. For all those, people. For example, we were just talking about South Africa. The ministers there, like, look, we need reparation. They don't respect you. Why? Because your president bowed down and licked their shoes. They don't respect you. You're not getting anything. So it's just the same thing with Caribbean, leaders. The same thing. Unless you leave. And when you leave and start holding them accountable, they won't respect you otherwise. Recently we heard, like, even with the Windrush generation, they went back on certain things that they promised the Windrush generations that they do to make sure that they're taken care of. They went back on a bunch of their promises. And I'm like, well, yeah, they don't respect you. And, the leader, one of the leaders, she's like a baroness, whatever her name is. She, wrote Rishi Sunak a letter. I can't believe that you are going back on these promises for, the Windrush generation and all that stuff. And I'm like, well, again, they don't respect you. You've been kissing their feet. You stood there and have them build how much was it? 50 million or 100, whatever that statue is, where you sat there with Kate and William unveiling a statue, when they should have given that money to people who they owe money to from the Windrush generation. You sit there, taking pictures of us, it's great. They want to put a statue, but there are people needing money. They don't respect you. They would rather put that money into a monument than give it to the people. That tells you something. That speaks to what they think of you as people, so they could just throw you a little title and know you'll just, bow down at their feet. So they don't respect you. You're not getting anything. So I don't know, understand what people don't get. I don't understand why they don't get this, but here we are. Let's see. Karen is telling us a little bit about the longest. She was the longest reigning mayor in the world, 38 years. She is the best. Yes, Regis always spoke about Hazel McCullum on his show. She is the mayor of where? That I'm not sure. Please do tell. Where is she the mayor? That's awesome. I never heard of her. So that's awesome. I'd love to know about Hazel. Let's see. Some more. Nari not 21. Hello. I haven't seen you here before, or maybe I'm forgetting. That could be the case. Says, even the resignation of Jacinda Ardern is quite fishy, in my opinion. The British establishment has a lot of these women resigning abruptly. Yeah, exactly. This is very, very weird. It is just, and again, it could just be that but it's just odd within, within the space of, a month. And that's not even, of course, okay, Liz Truss, she resigned, a month after she became prime minister, whatever, but it's just weird. It is just really, really odd that this has happened. Let's see. Anne Lewis says Nicola Sturgeon, SMP First Lady, has a family and a party member since her teens. Clarkson, vile comment mentioned her. They are the Rangers. King Charles III was not egged in Scotland. I don't even know what that. I'm not sure what that's referring to, but yeah, definitely the Jeremy Clarkson article definitely referred to. Yeah, he was saying like he hates Nicola Sturgeon, but he doesn't hate her as much as he hated Meghan. That's kind of the gist of his article. She actually even spoke out against his article as well in an interview. So Lorna says, I got my book yesterday, Black and British by David Olosoga, from Harry and Meghan documentary. I couldn't find it new. It was sold out, so I bought a copy in good condition. Oh, that's cool. The thing about David, though, it's just, it always is weird to me because he speaks out against the British Empire and all of those things, only to find out that he has, what does he have, an OBE or an MBE or something? And then apparently he didn't want people to know, so he had them give it to him in secret. And it's just like, and of course people were calling out his hypocrisy, which I couldn't say anything because, I mean, hello, But so it's always, for me, it's just like, but you're accepting. I just don't get it. I don't get it. Let's see. Carol Delancey says, she's talking to Maggie. I have a feeling that Meghan is still trying to protect her father, but if I were her, I would tear Samantha to pieces. Enough is enough. That could be the case. Who knows? With Meghan, again, family is always, you have these complicated relationships. I wouldn't want to be in court with a family member. I totally get that. I totally understand. It's just one of those things. It's like, I wouldn't want that to be a situation, but at the same time, with what Samantha is doing, you have to shut that down. You can't have somebody just be libeling you and then turn around and then sue you. That's just, and again, with all the things that her dad has done to her, she has definitely put up her boundaries there. But honestly, I would definitely take out a restraining. I would do everything to get these people out of my life. I don't see it getting better. So we'll see. We'll see what happens after and the decisions they make. And I will respect whatever decisions she decides to make with this, because nobody should have to put up with that. Absolutely nobody. Oh, Karen is giving us a little bit more about our mayor. She says the mayor is of Mississauga, Canada, Ontario. Oh, okay. Her birthday is a Valentine's Day and was buried yesterday, Valentine's Day. Oh, wait. Her birthday is on Valentine's Day. I was buried yesterday. Wait, she died and was buried yesterday? Or I'm confused. But thank you for the information that it was in Canada. Okay. That is very cool. It's very interesting. So, and also she was 102 years old birthday yesterday. So she would have been 102 yesterday. So clear up a little bit more. So did she die and was buried yesterday, or we're just celebrating or just honoring her death that she was buried on Valentine's Day? I'm a little confused about that, but thank you so much for all this information. I'd never heard of her before. So thank you. Let's see. Angela says, I believe Harry and Meghan learned from the last court case and are not making the same mistakes. I believe Scammy and those backing her will be surprised. I hope so. I definitely hope so. And it will be interesting to know who is, who is paying those bills. And again, I would not be surprised if the British tabloids are the ones picking up that bill, which they are the ones that would benefit the most from any kind of Meghan being on the stands, because that's what they were jonesing for when she was suing the Mail on Sunday. So yeah. Anne says, David also has an MBE real. Yes, he does. It's either an MBE or an OBE. I forgot which one, but he got one. and they said like he didn't want any press or publicity for it. This was in 2019, I think that happened. And so, yeah, I didn't realize that when he did the Harry and Meghan documentary, because apparently it wasn't majorly publicly known. So it's just very interesting. Yeah. Sean says paying them off will not help. The only thing that's going to do is to make them come for more. The only thing that's going to do is to make them come for more money and pay attention. That woman who said Harry put her out there is going to sue him next. Pay attention. Oh, that the one. The expense of British court to file that kind of lawsuit might, but again, tabloids might be backing it as well if she ever decides to do something that stupid, which she's going to lose. And if you notice, the tabloids have backed off of her, and you haven't heard from her in quite a few days, because I don't think she got the attention that they were hoping. Most people were calling her out. And so I guess they were hoping for international fame, and what she got was international ridicule. So, good luck to her with that one, because, So, Karen says, oh, okay, she died 2 weeks shy of her 100. Okay, she died 2 weeks shy of her 102nd birthday. So was buried on her birthday, which was on Valentine's yesterday. Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Thank you, Karen, for all of that. Wow. I'm telling you, 102 years old. Imagine what she has seen in her life. So rest in peace, Mayor, rest in peace. Wow. That's intense, man. Wow. What a long life. And long life of service, that's amazing. Wow. Oh, Lorna is giving us some more information about it too. Hazel McCallion was born on Valentine's Day, and she was 102 years when she died a couple of days before her 103rd birthday. She was buried on Valentine's Day, would have been her 103rd birthday. Okay, some more information. Thank you guys so much. Wow. So she came into the world that Valentine's, and she was buried on Valentine's. Wow, that's amazing. That is amazing. So thank you guys for sharing that. I had never heard of her, and I'm assuming many people had not heard of her either. So thank you for having a wonderful, knowledgeable community. I appreciate it. I learned so much from you guys. So yeah, amazing. Let's see. Anne Louise says it's probably that she was born in. Oh, okay. So she's basically saying the same thing. So thank you, Anne. And Dr. Sean says, listen to her words. She said she was embarrassed and feels violated, but if I was Harry, I would sue her for being a predator. Well, I mean, one, she doesn't have a case because Harry never mentioned her. There's nothing in there to say anything about her at all. Two, she is the one that told her friends. Harry never did. She's the one that told her friends. She even said, three, Harry is a minor. She was an adult. So basically, that was statutory rape. So yeah, she doesn't have a case there. But would I put it past the press to try to harass Harry with something like that? No, I wouldn't. I definitely wouldn't. The British press will do anything. But again, I don't think she got the reception that she was hoping, because many people were calling her out. Even some in the press were calling that out as nonsense. There was nothing in there that had any markings of her at all. And there is no, there, and at once, and then another thing, Harry, we don't even know if actually that is true. People are claiming that is true, and she said it's true that she was, but even she doesn't know if she was the one. You know what I mean? So it's just like, we don't know if she is who Harry was talking about, because again, Harry made no, there was nothing relating to what he said to her at all. So yeah. It could be a complete lie. She's probably not even who he was talking about. And even a couple of days earlier, some guy, this actor looking for attention was like, no, it's not here. Harry did it someplace else. I mean, nobody knows who Harry's talking about because he never said. She wanted fame and she wanted money and attention, and she got it. So there. Let's see. A couple more before we end. Maggie says she got her fame and money and needs to move on, and I hopefully she has. I haven't heard anything about her in the last few days, so they may just have just gotten bored and moved on, but we'll see. British people are, But anyway, on to more positive things. Invictus Games celebrating, if you remember at The Hague, they had a lot of these proposals. And this was one. So Invictus Game was celebrating Valentine's yesterday with one such proposal. Love is in the air at the Invictus Games Hague 2020. We saw multiple engagements last year. Relive the wonderful moment. Ronnie Tim Peterson Schmucker of Team Denmark. So he's proposing to his lady friend there. And, and also Invictus Foundation. They also Dusseldorf, they're like, oh, we're such a great moment at the Invictus Games, full of great moments, not long to go to Invictus Games DE Dusseldorf. So they were all celebrating, and we remember there were a whole bunch of quite a few proposals and very happy brides to be at the Invictus game. So that was really, really, really wonderful. So kudos to them. I don't know. I don't know if they're, all married and everything now, but who knows? And I just love this. I love this photo. Finally, from our vice president and her guy, second guy. She says, at the end of the day, it's you and me. Happy Valentine's Day, Dougie. I love you. And again, this is our vice president, Kamala Harris, and her wonderful husband, Doug, and second gentleman, Doug Emhoff. So I love that photo. And that Secret Service guy standing by the doorway, just making sure it's like, he has to scope out them about to kiss. The things the Secret Service must see, it's just so it's such a weird life to know that even in those private moments that you have to have a Secret Service guy watching you. It must be so weird after a while, or maybe they just got used to the fact that they're there. So, but it's just beautiful, and I love that whole photo, and I love their relationship. So really awesome and relaxing, and I love it. Absolutely love it. And a man who is not afraid of the success of his wife, and who is so cool and so supportive. Talk about strength, and so many, especially on the right, they're like, oh, that's weak, and it's just like, no, this is strength. So, but I absolutely love it. But anyway, guys, thank you so much. That's it. Thank you, our awesome moderators, Lydia Church, Nelly, Karen, and Cookies and Cream. Thank you guys so much for hanging with me today and chatting all messy royal stuff that we talked about today. Hopefully tomorrow we'll have better news. Again, please pray for our faves, because in 3 minutes there, that deposition starts to dismiss that court case. So please pray for them. Whatever happens, that Harry and Meghan will, they'll, I'm sure, make the best decision that for their life. Thank you so much to our 2 Cents Crew members. We have 2 more members to add. Janet Mensa, Phyllis Brooks, Denise Bestman, thank you so much for coming on and being a part of our 2 Cents Crew. Thank you so much for your incredible support. Thank you. And also, and here I have another part of our list for our 2 Cents Crew members, and also for our Gold Star supporters who support us here, either, whether it's PayPal, Cash App, Super Thanks, Super Stickers, or just straight up donations. Thank you guys so much for your support in every single way. Again, you don't have to do any of this. You just support out of the kindness of your heart, and I appreciate it. So thank you, guys. Have a fantastic day, and I will check in with you and talk to you tomorrow. Bye.